What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy December 30th to all of you. I'm back in action, back in Costa Rica. Rafa is on vacation, and we got Lucrative Larry on the ones and twos. Very excited to be here with you guys today. We have a packed show. We have Maxwell Smart joining us in 27 minutes. We have huge NCAA basketball card. We have games popping off very, very soon. And then we have Teddy Covers joining us, and we have NCAA bowl games popping off very, very soon. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag, and I'm very excited to be back with you guys. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got Reese in the house, Moses Saucedo. We got AM plus money says, what a lovely day for some afternoon action. I had the great honor of drinking heavily with our friend AM when I was back in Toronto. I had a little, had a small Summit of Champions meetup, and AM was there. Joe Anisi, and there's Rye Cape, ready to go. Vinny Cornell, Trot Wham, Nasty Nate in the house. Gerald Jones, Ron Lofton, Silver Malco, Paul Costa, Brooklyn Funk Project. There's D Boston, David Boston. Man, I get so excited when I see him in our chat. David Boston in the house. David Boston, star. NFL star, and that's Carlos Peroche and his cheesy balls in the house. Says Jimmy, my Redskins have a new president, new coach, but they forgot about a new owner. Yeah, you guys are in it'll never end for you. Like it'll never end for the Cowboys. Dav Fenn saying, ready to rock, playing First Responder Bowl 2. Yes, we're going to talk about all of those games. One for the money. Gerald Jones, Shadow in the house. Rico Money, Ron Crawford, DJ Big Boss, Paco Healy, Ski Profit, Cobra Sports, Nick Allegretti. Love it. Says, Jimmy, glad to see you, man. Been 2 weeks since I've been able to catch a show. Let's roll. Western Kentucky +3. First half, Illinois +6.5, and Florida -14.5. That explains it. It's Lucrative Larry. Yes, AM liking the Whalers hat. Yeah. And yes, Chicago Kid in the house. Jeff Joseph. Jeff Joseph was also partying with us. Man, what a treat it was to hang out with Jeff Joseph and Camilla. Man, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I was at the bar for about 9 hours. 9 hours at the bar. I put in a full shift, man. Ski Profit in the house. I'm rocking a Ski Life shirt. Man. Kevin Pine, Christopher Carter, Comic Ricky, Von Polo, $50 bet on the Dolphins money line. Wow. Wow. Dog Bride, Chi-Town, sick with it. Nicholas Fogg, Alex Ramirez, star of the Spidey play of the day. The team is here. The fam is here. Kevin Pine. Ron Delrick, Barry, Mr. Gokster in the house. I knew Mr. Gokster would dig my Hartford Whalers hat. Man, okay, let's get after it. Let's get after it. We have a really nice card. We got one NHL game. I've come very close to taking the Ottawa Senators first period all morning long. I have not. We have 6 NBA games. I have made one move on the under in Magic Atlanta Hawks, and I'm close to making 2 more moves, but I want to talk that with you guys. We have 24 minutes to do that. Then Maxwell Smart will be joining us. We have afternoon NCAA action. He's got 30 minutes to deliver us the goods. And then Teddy Covers comes in to hammer bowls, hammer some NBA, and talk about the NFL wildcard week that is in full effect. One for money says Pitt over 6. See, I almost took the under 6.5 too, but with Hogberg in that, I was like, maybe I should pump the brakes. We got Red Girl, Mitch Bruner, Von Polo, and Americ. All right, let's get after it right now. And Mr. Gogs is saying, great shift. Jim, 9 out. There's Nilo, my guy Nilo. Nilo was also with us partying down at the Score on King Street, man. Good 9-hour shift for me, man. I'm still a little hazy after $7 doubles. We got after it. All right, and Paul Costa says, who's got the stones to take Detroit Mercy +33 Gonzaga? Not me. Geghard A in the house. Okay, let's get after it right now. We've got a lot of work to do. We have a very exciting card full of afternoon action. One day until New Year's Eve. This is a nice time of year. Mally Mal in the house. Love it. Okay, let's get after it right now. First off, Pick 6 contest. The Pick 6 contest coming down to its final day. Final day. And Vortex 00 took it in the drink hole for staying on the sidelines and not making bets. A woman, a capper named The Cheese goes 4-0 yesterday and blows right past Vortex. There were plays to make all week. Titans were easy. Bears +7 I got in the contest. +7. Saints were easy. I went 4-1-1 in the final week of the contest. Hit the 2-unit play. Got a little bit of redemption. But man, Vortex for sitting on the sideline. Sometimes it works. Sometimes that safe action gets you right in the bottom mouth. And that's where Vortex 00 got it. The Cheese has a healthy lead going into the final day of the $50,000 Pick 6 contest. Not only that, but we got Big Ragu in the house. Big Ragu, we got Jaspers in the house. Cole Coleon, Bookie Lover Q. Love it. We have Big Ragu in the house, and there is still time to get into the Boss in the Sauce NCAA Bowl contest. There's still enough games left for you to get to the minimum. Here you go, $300 up for grabs. I'm going to put the link right here. There is still time to get in the $300 Big Boss, Ragu, Boss in the Sauce contest. There's Yu Chang Yu in the house, Omega Capper. All right, the team is here. Guru Sports Bets. All right, let's get after it. So 12:30 Eastern, the First Responders Bowl. So we have an hour and 21 minutes. Nothing to worry about. Teddy Covers going to be coming and joining us. We're going to hammer that. Jersey Jinx in the house. Okay, 4 p.m. Eastern, Music City Bowl, Nashville. 4 p.m. Red Box Bowl in Santa Clara. And 7 p.m. Eastern, the Orange Bowl in Miami. And our old producer, Larry, by the way, Sophia will be at the Red Box Bowl in Santa Clara to watch the Golden Bears against the Fighting Illini. That will be a nice experience for her. Okay, so no worries. We're going to get after it. But let's get into NHL right now. And a 3-3 day was upsetting. All of my -1s on Friday, all 3 of them lost. All my totals cashed easily. And Ron Crawford says, pick 6 games still up today. Yes. Oh, I'm calling out Vortex. This is the final day. We're in the final day of the contest today. Vortex stayed on the sidelines all weekend. Cost them $2,500, at least $2,500. I'm excited that we're doing that one more time. Roman Peddle in the house. Thank you, my friend. All right, okay, sorry, I'm, it was a year ago, Red Girl a year ago that her dad died and hasn't been focused. New year, new money. Red Girl, God, we love you so much, and we're so thankful to have you as part of our family and part of our chat. And yeah, there are tough years, there are great years, just seems like life ebbs and flows. And the start of a new year comes with hope. And I have a lot of hope for 2020. And thankful to roll with you. So much love to you. Tori Coker says, I love the 49ers last night. Won big with them, yes. And my action with my futures is looking positive. Unit-wise, it was I lost maybe because I went 5-5, but cash-wise, a lot of the losses were $100 bets. 2 of the winners were $400 bets. So very thankful for the futures. And then I'm live with 3 teams. I'm live with the Chiefs, the Saints, and the Eagles from the beginning of the year. And obviously, I'm upset I don't have a Ravens ticket in my pocket, but it's all good. Okay, let's get into NHL right now. There's Schaff in the house. Viper MBs on Western Michigan money line. Aaron Gordon ruled out. Yes, Paul Costa. That's one of the reasons why I'm on the under. I did get it for show purposes at 213.5. I bet it at 212.5, and it quickly went up to 213 and then went back down. I can't wait to talk. There's Lily in the house. Lily Gunn joining us. Oh man, talking about the difficulties that we have to go through dealing with loss and grieving, and Lily and Red Girl and Carl McRicky and losing people so close to you, and the new year brings new hope and light, and we are 36 hours away from the new year and the new hope, and it just all comes down to how thankful I am that I get to roll with you guys, and I promise you this, there will be many more meetups this coming year all over the states. Many more meetups. All right, let's get after it. Mr. Goxer said, how bad did the Yotes look last night, Jimmy? I would be more concerned if the Knights didn't also look bad, but I'm concerned. All right, let's get after it. NHL record, very disappointing. We were watching all these games on Friday night. I thought I was in great shape, but turned out that I was not. Pop that up for me, Larry, when you can. Backdoor cover in the house. Extremely disappointing. I have not got hot yet, and I can't wait to do that. God, I love seeing Lily in the chat. That Fire TV ready to go as well. Okay, Senators, Penguins. Let's pull up the best odds page on the planet, the SBR odds page. Let's get this up, and let's get after it. And don't forget to join the Boss and the Sauce $300 competition. Cobra Sports says, let's get you to Atlantic City, Jimmy. I promise you that will be happening. I promise you we are going to be making a move to Atlantic City this coming year. All right, let's go. Money lines and totals. Let's go to NHL right now. And Bigger Goo coming out for the Super Bowl. Oh, God, I love that. I wish I could be there with you guys. Ottawa, Pittsburgh, a huge move towards the Penguins. And look, there's my guy G-Sauce, a.k.a. Extra Sauce. G-Sauce was in 20th place going into that Sunday nighter last night in the Pick 6 contest. And G-Sauce is now on Twitter, at Extra Sauce. I am following him. Okay. Let's go. Ottawa, Pittsburgh, minus 235. Pittsburgh opens up at Pinnacle. It's now minus 275. This total was at 6.5. Look, I came close to taking the under, and I didn't. Maybe now seeing it at 6. Maybe that was a move I should have made. But I don't feel very confident in a Senators team that I know will play tight in the first or second period. But I just don't have faith in a team on the second half of a back-to-back after an overtime game playing tight in that third period. If I want the Senators on the money line, first period money line, which I do. Jimmy Stain says, Jimmy, what is your NFL season record? I did not update it from last week in the futures. So I went 4-2 on Friday and then 5-5. But if you watch on the Audible, you'll know that it's awful. It's awful. But there's still a chance, Jimmy Stain. There's still a chance to make it better with some of the futures as long as the Chiefs kind of keep rolling. But it's been an awful record, and I share it on every Audible. Jimmy Stain, I share it on every Audible. Sadly, you're looking, for better or for worse, one of the few that's transparent and honest with everything he does, Jimmy Stain. And Nilo says, wife still hates your voice. Yes, I get it. Okay, and there's Zombie Pie in the house. All right. And I did update NHL and NBA, but I've haven't NFL just because we're doing Audible in a few days, and so that's why. All right, let's get after it right now. Look, Mally Mouse says Pens roll right past Ottawa. Will they? And yes, Nilo, I do think that there's Ottawa first period has. I really think that Ottawa first period has value. I really do. The Penguins home and home against Nashville looked very good, but they also looked sloppy. If you go through their lines, I mean, they got Hornqvist back, but this is not the same team without Sid. And they're playing incredibly well. They've won 7 straight. I mean, 7 straight, 9-0-1 their past 11 games against the Senators at home. It's just a very good hockey team. 4-1-2 in their past 7 meetings against Senators in any venue. Torrey Coker loving the Hawks tonight. Interesting. Look, there's Ron Fig joining us. Ottawa has injuries to Hainsey, DeMello, and Zaitsev. I mean, that's going to crush them late, but it's going to. Trey Young is not playing. Mally. He's already been out. Ruled out already. Mr. Ghost said Batherson should get called up to him, leading the league or at least top 3 in points this year in the NHL. I don't know why he's not up already. It's just, do we trust Holberg? You know, I just don't feel like the Penguins are going to be sharp here, and I think that the Senators can be sharp, and I think the Senators can make it in the first period. Okay. I am going to make a move on the Senators' first period right now. Senators' first period. Had to talk this out. Senators' first period plus 190 at Bovada. There we go. Senators' first period plus 190 at Bovada. Got to go for it. And I'm going for it. All right. That's the NHL. Let's move on to NBA. Mr. Gokster, Hochberg can be good for first period. There's Brian Watson in the house. And Antoine Seymour, much love to you, my friend. And we got Lamont Williams in the house. Okay. Viper MB, like in John Collins, points over as long as Trey's out. You know, that makes a ton of sense. The only issue is that with the Magic now playing without Aaron Gordon, there's going to be a whole lot of Vucevic. There's going to be a whole lot of Bamba. There's going to be a lot of defensive presence for Collins. But that makes it. Oh, and Mr. Ghoster's on it too. All right, that's what I needed to see. All right, plus 190. All right, let's move into NBA 1-1 on Friday. Except I did not bet the Bucks first half minus 6.5 after Giannis was announced out of the lineup, and that cashed very easily. It was an official play on the show, but with my pocket, I went 0-1 because the Heat didn't cover right in front of us at the Score on King. Larry, could you pop up my NBA record? Yes, Neil, the two-mug system. Look, everything's going fine in NBA. But I'm seeing things clearly, and I'm looking at leans, and I'm seeing things clearly, and I have a lot of confidence right now, and especially with all these great cappers in the chat. Let's get after it right now. We're going to start with Heat Wizards. Let's move to spreads and totals. We only have 11 minutes now to break this down before Maxwell Smart, but 6 games, so about a minute and a half or 2 minutes on each game. All right, let's go. Sorry, I'm still on first period or first quarter, so let's go to full game spreads and totals. There's Lizo in the house. Shaft tailing Senators first period money line 290. You must have minus a half or 290. You mean 190, I think, Shaft. But I like it. I like that you're with it. All right, let's get after it. NBA right now. Heat, Wizards. Heat opening up as a big road favorite, minus 9. It's down to minus 8.5 in almost all the books. This total opened up at 227.5. That is where it stands right now. Heat pace last 5, 28th in the association. Wizards pace last 5, 5th. And their pace has not slowed that much. Both the Hawks and the Wizards' pace has not slowed that much without their stars. Wizards obviously being Beal, Hawks obviously being Trae Young. Wizards allowing 121.5 points per game, and the Heat scoring 112.6 points per game, allowing 107.7 points per game. Wizards 4-8 at home, Heat 9-7 on the road. Tory Coker says, Washington will cover Miami, Miami good, but lately not covering. First quarter, first half, full game. And 2 GOATs' birthdays. I did not know that. LeBron and Tiger celebrating birthdays today. AM says, Jimmy, how about that Raps money line against Boston? I don't know if it was how hungover I was, AM, but I didn't get to the window with that bet. Wow, plus 290 on FanDuel. Shaft, get after that immediately. First, remember we were going to do first half money line, full game money line. God, it was just the perfect spot, and I got cold feet. Ski Profit leaning Heat or the over. So Beal out of the lineup, had played 194 consecutive games, and that's not all. The Wizards are a beat-up crew. David Bertans, their best three-point shooter, out of the lineup. You got Thomas Bryant, Hachimura, C.J. Miles, and Moritz Wagner. And then so Bertans, Bryant, Hachimura, and Wagner, I mean, those are bigs that you need desperately, and they're bigs that will help against the Heat, who aren't, I mean, Bam can do so many things, but the Heat aren't that big, at the 5 and at the 4. Washington got Gary Payton the second in the lineup, and he's looking good. Isaiah Thomas looking good. They're both going to have the ball a ton. Heat beat the Sixers 117-116 in overtime on Saturday night. Butler 25-9-9. Heat are 6-0 in overtime games, 8-1 contests decided by 5 points or fewer, but they're not covering a lot of these. Natalie Rydstrom in the house. Love seeing Natalie in our chat. Love seeing Natalie. Bam leading the Heat in rebounds, 10.5. Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, they've both been spectacular. They've given them offense that we didn't know if they'd have and allow them to bring Dragic off the bench. Then you have Duncan Robinson hitting 46.5% from 3, a special team. They've won 5 straight, 2 straight by 1 point. This just feels like a letdown spot for the Heat, but even in a letdown spot, they can still cover. I know what Tory Coker says, don't have to win, just cover. I know what you're talking about there, but I don't know if they do. And I don't have a move on the Heat right now, but I understand Ski Profits leans. Let's move on to Hawks Magic. Let's go. I already jumped in on the over here, and man, did I smash that. Shit. Did I smash that? It's still going down. I got it at 212.5. I got 213.5 on the show. Smash that. Now, I could have had the Bulls a +8 this morning, and they're at 6.5, but I needed to know about marketing. That would have been a nice smashing. But look at this total. It's now down to 208.5. I got it at 212.5. My bet, 213.5 for show purposes. How are the Hawks going to score? And then you take Aaron Gordon off you take him off the perimeter and down low for the Magic, and they're not going to score as much. Pace last 5, Hawks first in the NBA. Pace last 2 without Trae Young. They're 4th in the NBA. Just 3 possessions left per 100. 3 possessions less. Hawks coming off their 10th straight loss. They got destroyed at Chicago on Saturday night. Collins goes for 34, 8, and 3. So I understand why you guys want to take him with props, but I'm still a little hesitant. Ski Profit says Magic or under, and very thankful to have the under. 3 games since his return. Collins averaging 23.3 points, 11.3 boards. Schnizzle says Jimmy liking the under. Jabari Parker will not be, well, he's doubtful. Jabari Parker, doubtful. Trae Young, out, ruled out. Magic coming off a 111-100 road loss to Milwaukee on Saturday night without Giannis. No Aaron Gordon. And Bamba, why am I talking so much about Bamba? Missed the last 2 games with sprained right ankle. So no Michael Carter-Williams. We'll see if Bamba makes the line, but no Aaron Gordon as well. Mally Mal says Orlando wins. Sure, they win. But you want to cover double digits with the Magic? Probably. I'm much more comfortable with the under. Dan Kelly liking the Heat first half, -4. Interesting. So Dan Kelly doesn't see a letdown spot for the Heat. Going to copy and paste that right now. Copy and paste that right now from our guy, Dan Kelly. Okay, copy and paster. All right, let's go. It's right under Viper and Bees action. We do have Vegas Gun Awards to give out. All right, let's keep rolling through this action. Let's move on to, so I'm on the under there, and I love it, and I'm going to sit back. I've already beaten it by 4.5 points and 3.5 with my bet. So let's move on to Nets Timberwolves right now. Nets 7-9 on the road. Timberwolves 3-11 at home. Timberwolves look awful, and Wiggins is back to being the player we expected him to be, the guy who has questionable heart, and he was sick and not in the lineup. There's David Chimilio in the house. And Tori Coker says Orlando doesn't cover double digits. And Ski Prophet says, I need Trae and Collins if I'm ever backing the Hawks. Makes sense. Hawks now the worst team in the league, 6-27. Pace last 5 for the Timberwolves, 13th in the association, 101.18 possessions per game for the Nets, 6th in the NBA last 5, 102.76. Nets 12-8 since losing losing Kyrie, 12-10 since losing LeVert. Nets are averaging 107 points since Irving went out, but not lately. Brooklyn averaging 101.8 points on 39.4% shooting over their last 2 games, shooting 27.1% from 3 over their last 2 games, coming off their worst offensive showings of the season, 26.9%, third lowest percentage in franchise history from the field in that loss against the Knicks on Thursday, and then followed that up with a 108-98 loss in Houston, where they lost. They were down 22 after the first quarter. They didn't look good ever. They were never in the game and shot 40.2%. Ski Profit says Nets or under. This is a spot. Okay, Nets have been held under 100 points. Dinwiddie seems like he's starting to get a little tired being the focus of the team's offense, and other teams knowing that they just have to double Dinwiddie. Timberwolves on a 9-game home losing streak, and we need to know about Karl Anthony Towns. Left knee sprain. Is this a spot where Karl Anthony Towns might come back? There's Rob Stevenson in the house. Mr. Gokster, Omaha Beach was spectacular. Omaha Beach was absolutely spectacular. I like that Roadster was running late. I like that a lot. Okay, Wolves, 11-game losing streak, halted on Thursday, but then they lose to Cleveland. So Towns was listed as questionable, missed his 6 straight games. There was no Wiggins as well. So you take Towns and Wiggins out, and who do you have? Travion Graham, Shabazz Napier, Jarrett Culver, Robert Covington, and Georgie? You're in big trouble if that's the case, and you're backing the Timberwolves. Let's see what the market's doing. We have a first half Milwaukee -3 also. First half Milwaukee -3, also going to copy and paste that right now. Let's get that copied and pasted. Here we go. All right. So in saying that, I understand why people would be on the Nets. Open at -2.5, now -3. This total at 219, now 220. But I need to know what's going on with Karl Anthony Towns before I can make a decision on this game. And I need to know what's going on with Lauri Markkanen and Giannis in this Bucks-Bulls game. Yes, I probably should have pulled the trigger on the Bulls +8, but I have a feeling that this could be all over the place. I feel like this could be all over the place. There's my guy, Guillermo Zertucci. Markkanen is not out at this point. Markkanen is questionable with an illness. He left the practice yesterday early, very sick, so we don't know. We know that Wendell Carter is now probable with the left abdomen injury. Thomas Satoransky is probable with a sore left ankle. And then we have Giannis, who may or may not be in the lineup. Also, Eric Bledsoe is probable to come back in the lineup. And T. Rob saying Wiggins also questionable. There was just too much I needed to know to take the Bulls +8. And now seeing it at 6.5, I probably should have pulled the trigger. But we'll see if Giannis is back. We'll see if Bledsoe's back. We'll see if Markkanen is in the lineup. A lot to be figured out. And if Markkanen's not in the lineup, can we see 8s again? We probably can't. We'll see at least a 7 or a 7.5. The market is basically telling us that Markkanen's going to be in the lineup and Giannis won't be in the lineup. We need to wait and make decisions there. And Jeff Joseph says rematch was spun to run in Omaha Beach in the Pegasus. Flash is a big fan of Spun to Run, but I really think that Omaha Beach will take that spot there. All right, so we have Pistons Jazz. This wasn't who eats constantly. Charles Lamb says Bucks without Greek this year reminds me of Raptors without Kawhi. I like that. Guillermo says would have loved to see Omaha versus maximum security race. Yeah, it's too bad. But Gary West still angry. So any chance he can kind of screw over the North American horse racing market, and he should here. I mean, what will you go for $3 million or $20 million in the last race? You go for 20. I get it. Then we have Suns Blazers. We need to talk about this game a little more. Maybe we can talk about it with Teddy Covers because we got to get into NCAA action here. Larry, can you get our guy Maxwell Smart ready to go? Suns broke their 8-game losing streak with a 112-110 road win over the Sacramento Kings on Saturday night. It was all Booker all the time, 32-10. Then they blow a 12-point lead after 3 quarters against the Warriors, commit a season-worst 27 turnovers. In their 8-game slide, they've lost 3 of the games by 2 or fewer points. They've lost 11 straight to the Blazers, and the Blazers are angry. The Blazers are an angry squad. So if you look about sort of how Teddy Covers caps NBA, I imagine that he will be on this Blazers. Lillard was very angry in his post-game comments in that loss against the Lakers. Their bench was outscored 72-39. Whiteside stepped up, and now Skal Labissiere started for the first time this season, but he injured his knee 2 minutes in, so he's going to be out of the lineup. So it's going to be a ton of Whiteside, and they're angry. They're very angry. Bookie Lover Q leaning Blazers. Chi-Town Sick With It says, let's move on to college basketball. Okay, Paul Costa says Jazz will smash the Dawn Sports and Entertainment. We got the Dawn Sports and Entertainment rolling on Portland -4. Right now, the only move I'm on, and looking back, I guess I sort of wish I had have taken the Bulls at +8, but I'm going to wait to hear injury reports there. I have some interest in that Pistons Jazz under because the Pistons are who we remember them to be. They have Bruce Brown playing nice defense. They have Drummond, who's a monster at the 5, but they have no outside shooting, just like they did a lot of last year. So we shall see. The only move I'm on is the under 212.5. That was at 213.5 at Bovada, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't take it at this number. It doesn't make sense to take it when it's gone all the way down to 208.5. So that's what's up. All right, it is now time for an appearance from Maxwell Smart, whom I've missed dearly. Larry on the 1s and 2s. Let's go.
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell Smart in the house. How are you doing on this Monday morning, my friend?
Jim, I'm glad to be here with you and all the low baggers. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you very much for being here for Jimmy and I this morning and for Teddy later on. And yeah, I'm just happy to be alive. I'm happy to be able to speak. I'm happy to put this ice pack down from my mouth. And there's college basketball all day today, Jim. So you know I'm loving that.
I know that you are, and I know that you've been dealing with dental work, so we're very thankful to have you on the show. Seaside Savage in the house. Avataz says Max is the man, and the college football game is not starting in 30 minutes. It's starting in 57 minutes, so we got lots of time for everything. Max, NCAA basketball, we have games popping off very, very soon. Let's get over it with the best odds page on the planet, sportsbookreview.com, SBR odds page. We have spreads and totals. And Max, we're going to get into your action that you've already put in, but first off, there's a game popping off in 26 minutes. Canisius, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh opening up at minus 13, now minus 14. This total at 129.5. You can still get it there, or 129. Max, are you making a move on this early start Canisius-Pittsburgh matchup?
Yes, sir, I am, Jim, and I'm going to be jumping on Canisius plus the double-digit points. This is a Canisius team that has been able to play very strongly against some tough top-tier opponents. I think with guys like Scott Hitchin and Malik Johnson, I think that you have the ability to stay in this game against Pitt, and we've seen Pitt. We've watched Pitt. Pitt plays fantastic defense. Canisius can also play quality defense. I think that's going to cancel each other out, but I also think that we have to take notice of how Pittsburgh's been shooting from the field, the consistency, and the consistency of specifically Xavier Johnson. I think that with this Pittsburgh team, they are going to win this game in my estimations and by my numbers, which we are betting by. We're not betting the teams. We're creating content with the teams, but we're betting the number. The number likes Canisius, full game, plus 14. And I'll say this, I do think that Pittsburgh can come out and be strong in the first half, but at the number that it is, it didn't warrant a first half bet. But I will take Canisius full game plus 14.
I will give it to you, and this is not an official play that you've made yet. I'm going over your official plays. You have 3 on the books, is that right?
Yes, 3 on the books, but obviously, Jim, I've made a lot of bets. Unfortunately, there have been a couple games, specifically in the Big Sky Conference, that have moved away from the number I got, and right now I'm actually holding out to see if I can start to middle. With conference games starting and conference season here, we're going to have opportunity, if you get on the openers, to have middling potential based on the closing line. So that's what I'm looking to do in a couple games later on today.
All right, let's get after it right now. And I guess they're saying that let me just make sure that I've got everything right here with NCAA football. They're saying games at noon. Okay, yeah, no, I've got it right. We're good. Nothing to worry about. We have lots of time to talk college football. No panic here. Those of you wondering why Max is not on our late shows right now, it's just because just until we get back in January, we're doing 1 show a day instead of 2. All right, Max, I'm going to give you Canisius right now. Max's first edition. This game pops off in 24 short minutes, and the best we can give you is plus 14 at minus 105. That's available at both Heritage and 5 Dimes. Max is getting Canisius plus 14 at minus 105. Okay, Max, I've noticed that you don't have these 1 p.m. games, or I guess they're going to be 2 p.m., right? Because it's 10 to 11:30. Yes, 2 p.m. games on your card. Why don't we go over these 4 early basketball games and then go over your action that you've already put in? We have 4 more games popping off this afternoon, and let's see what Max is doing with them, because we have a lot of afternoon NCAA basketball action. Hofstra, Towson. Hofstra opens up as a pick'em. They're now minus 1 across the board. The total opens up at 138, is now up to 140. Are you making a move on Hofstra, Towson, 2 p.m. Eastern start?
Yeah, I'm going to make a play on Hofstra and Towson, Jim. This is a Hofstra spot to me. This is a Hofstra-dominated series. This is conference basketball. This is an afternoon tip where Hofstra has played quite well in the daytime. And I think that makes a difference when we're talking about the end of the year. We're talking about New Year's Eve coming up. These Towson boys, they come off a tough game. Brian Fobbs did not have a good shooting game. They really tried to ride the hand of Alan Bertrand. They were not able to do it, losing by the score of 61-45 to Northeastern. I think that with this Hofstra team, we're seeing Jalen Ray, we're seeing Desiree Buey, we're seeing Tariq Colbert. All these guys are putting together in the same game. They're winning with defense. They're winning in transition. I think today there's a huge discrepancy when it comes to free throw shooting. This is a Hofstra team that gets the line, makes free throws. Towson's going to put you on the line, and I think that even though Towson defensively, by my numbers and metrics, are head and shoulders above Hofstra. I do think that transition defense, I think that forcing turnovers, and I think that free throw shooting is going to be the difference in this game. I sent out Hofstra last night. I bet Hofstra also. And for the show, I'll take Hofstra money line because I don't want the -1.
All right, let's get you Hofstra money line. While I'm getting that very quickly, and I know we have 22 minutes. We got to move quickly, but 1 for the money, 2 for the show. Noli knows in the house. 1 for the money, 2 for the show is wondering what about the over on that Pitt game? And Robert Allen is on the under in that Pitt game. Do you have a lean towards the total in that Pitt Kenesha spot?
Nothing that I'm prepared to give out for the show. My initial lean would be to the under, but nothing strong enough that was warranted a wager.
Wow, interesting. A lot of bad lines here for Hofstra as a money line, and then all of a sudden, UWager comes out of nowhere with a +100. UWager a +100. They still have Towson as the favorite, as all the other books have moved. The best line on the board is what Max is going to get. So Max gets Hofstra on the money line at +100, and Bookie Lover Q also on it. That's going to be my first tail of the afternoon. I'm going to tail Max on Hofstra, locking that in right now. Max, the next spot on the board, Dartmouth, New Hampshire. Let me move back to spreads and totals as we jumped on that on the money line. Here we go. The next spot on the board, Dartmouth, New Hampshire. Dartmouth opening up at -1, now 2.5 across the board. This total stuck at 128.5. You making a move here?
No, I'm not. I do like Dartmouth in the spot. Obviously with the shooting that they have, and they play really good perimeter defense, I think that they have the advantage. But I think that New Hampshire, they're the type of team that can really just pull the rabbit out of the hat and surprise you on a game-to-game basis. They've gotten blown out the last couple games. I do expect them to put up a little more of a fight, but nothing strong enough that I'm willing to make official for the show.
All right, well, let's keep rolling because we've got a lot of games to talk about. The next spot is 7th-ranked Baylor going up against Jackson State. This pops off at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Baylor 30-point favorites, and it hadn't moved. It hadn't moved until just a second ago. Just a second ago when Bookmaker brought it down to 29.5. This total stuck at 136. Max, is there a move to make Jackson State Baylor Bears?
No, on this card, I'm not looking at any 30-point favorites. I'm not looking at this game at all. So.
Let's move on to the final afternoon game on the card, Stetson, South Carolina. Max not liking a 30-point favorite. Will he like a 21-point favorite in South Carolina? This total at 137.5. Max, Stetson, South Carolina.
No, I don't like a side in this game. I did bet the under at 138. I think that obviously at 137.5, you still have enough of a margin that you can still get on it with me. And as far as making it official for the show, I'll do that also. So give me under 137.5, but keep in mind I did bet the 138.
137.5. Let's get that for you right now. Moving over to totals, and let's get Max hooked up. The total, the under 137.5. Let's see what kind of juice Max. Oh yeah, that's 137.5. We have no -105s, only -110s, and that is what Max is going to get. Let's do that right now. South Carolina under 137.5. at -110. Okay, so those are the early games. We do have one game popping off at 6:30. Why don't we handle that? Because it is a big, big game, Xavier Villanova. And then we'll go over the moves that Max is already making, and then we'll ask Max what his additions are going to be. Ilya Katz says, any plays on Pitt? Yes. Max is on Canisius. Lily Gunn is on Canisius. And a bunch of cappers are also on the Canisius train. I did see a Pitt first half somewhere. That might have been Guru. Robert Allen is putting 2 units on the Pitt Canisius under. And I thought I saw a Pitt first half, but let's keep rolling along right now. Xavier Villanova, 10th ranked Villanova, opens up at -5. They're now anywhere between 5.5 at Bookmaker and up to 7 at Pinnacle. This total has creeped up a half point from its opening at 139. Max, Xavier Villanova.
My numbers like Villanova. I'm not going to get to the window on this. This is a really exciting game. I'm excited to watch this game at 6:30. I will be live betting this game, plain and simple. I want to see how Tyreek Jones comes out against Cole Swider. I think that there is advantages in the backcourt for Xavier, but Xavier has been less than impressive when it comes to in conference on the road against top tier opponents. But the Big East is just loaded with freaking exciting basketball. I think we're going to get an exciting basketball game in this spot. The number likes Villanova. I haven't got to the window on it. I think that Colin Gillespie really goes off. This is his time to shine. And I think that with Xavier, you really have to get them to shoot the ball well. They have to take more threes and make more of them. Free throw shooting, they're getting to the free throw line a good deal. But against Villanova, with the way that they are efficient at the line, the way that they shoot the three ball, and the way that they don't turn the ball over, I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. I like Villanova. I'm not going to make it official. It's something I'll bet live, and that's about it on that game.
All right, well, let's keep rolling. Feel free to bring in questions. I've copied and pasted one. We have a very quick question from Ann American. Let's keep this tight because lots of games to get through. And again, feel free to hammer your questions in. Ann American says, Max, should we be sprinkling a little bit on the Canisius money line or just looking for a cover?
No, I think we should just be looking for a cover. I don't think that this is a spot where Canisius is going to win the game outright. I do think it's a lot of points, and if you look at Pittsburgh's track record, we've seen them have a little bit of trouble in these letdown spots and these lesser opponents.
Robert Stevenson asking, what about the over in this Xavier Villanova spot, Max? That's gone up a half point from its opener at 139.
Yeah, I think that anything in any kind of Villanova game when you're getting under 145 or better, I think that it's always worth giving a look at the over. It's just not a spot that I'm looking to get on. I think that if Xavier has their way, the tempo and pace is going to be slower, and if Villanova has their way, they're going to be getting up and down, and they're going to be shooting a lot of threes.
All right, let's keep rolling right now. And Guru Sportsbet saying that was just a lean on Pittsburgh first half. Didn't make the bet himself. Was just letting people know that Canisius isn't a good team. Not at all. Okay. And Neil says, Max with those pearly white teeth. Max getting love for the teeth. Okay, let's move on to DePaul right now. This is a look that you...
They're not pearly white.
That's the look that you jumped on, DePaul. You jumped on DePaul. Let's grab it. I know it was one of the later games here on the card. Up against Seton Hall. Seton Hall opening up as a 1-point favorite. You jumped on DePaul as a pick'em. Now DePaul are 2-point favorites. Also, this total has gone from 139.5 all the way down to 135.5. Max, Seton Hall, DePaul. Why are you on DePaul here?
Yeah, DePaul is the team on the rise. This is a Seton Hall team that, listen, they had a really good performance at home, but if you want to put my money on Anthony Nelson and Jared Rhoden replacing the production of Miles Powell, sorry, it's not happening. I think that DePaul has the advantage in this game, and his name is Paul Reed. Paul Reed got to go off in this goddamn game tonight because you know what? There's no Sandro for Seton Hall, just Romero Gill, and another guy, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a tall guy. But regardless, the numbers like DePaul. The numbers really like DePaul. It's potentially going to be a multiple unit bet for me. I've bet him pick 'em. I'm looking at the money line to add on. I think Charlie Moore has revitalized this program. I think that Jalen Coleman Lambs with his 3-point shooting ability is an X factor difference maker type player, and I expect DePaul to rise the occasion tonight, and I expect for them to get a win. I'm not saying it's going to be a double digit win, but I do say that DePaul gets it done. The numbers like DePaul. My wager likes DePaul. My bookie is not going to like DePaul tonight.
I like it. We got a lot of stuff coming in. Also, Dan Kelly says, my brother went to school there. It's Xavier. We're getting sometimes, as we're from the Great White North, we mix that up. Dan Kelly, we apologize profusely. All right, Dizzy Rothstein says Seton Hall's overrated. Too much ISO ball. Reminds me of the Blazers. Speaking of Blazers, 19.4 assists is all that they get a game. The Portland Blazers. Okay, DePaul was grabbed as a pick'em. And at -1.5, I'm not scared to take them here, even though Max got them at a much better line. I'm going to be tailing DePaul. I'm going to be going after it right now. While I am doing that, Max, tell us why you are back on the Tribe. William and Mary Elon. William and Mary opening up at -5.5. It's up to 7 at Bookmaker. It's still at 6 at BetOnline and Bovada, 6.5 everywhere else, and this total stuck at 140. Max, William, Mary, Elon.
Well, this is a William & Mary spot that the number screamed William & Mary. It heavily favored them at the number that I got, up to about 9.5 points. With William & Mary, what happened last game against St. Francis, Pennsylvania? I'll tell you what goddamn happened. They couldn't make free throws. Specifically, the big man, the star player, Nathan Knight, went 4 for 9 from the field. From the line, excuse me. That was the difference in the game. That will not happen again tonight. This is CAA home road opener for William & Mary. I think that the Twin Towers are going to get shit done. I'll give it to Elon. Sheffield had a fantastic game. Marcus Sheffield had a fantastic game against Winthrop. 27 points. He Hunter Woods and Hunter McIntosh, they combined for 28 points. I don't think that offense is going to carry over tonight against William & Mary. William & Mary can slow you down. They can play multiple different tempos. They have elite three-point shooters on the perimeter, and their big man can step out to the three-point line also. I think that William & Mary takes this game seriously by my estimations from listening to the coaches talk, and I think that they are going to cruise in this game. So William & Mary up to 9.5 points is copacetic by me, and at the number I got, I'm happy. I'm not laughing, but I'm happy.
There are still sixes on the board. One at BetOnline, one at Bovada with just minus 115, and I will jump in on the Tribe. That was a great breakdown, Max. -6 and minus 115. All right, let's keep rolling, and then we have questions coming in. I have been copying and pasting them. We're going to go through the marquee games as well. I know people want to talk Yale, North Carolina. We're going to talk about all these spots, but next up on Max's card is the Dons, the San Fran Dons. Max, you've had a great read on them coming on a few years now, going up against Hartford. The Dons open up at -5. They're still there at bookmaker. 5.5s across the board everywhere else. This total stuck at 150.5. Max, Harvard, San Francisco.
Yeah, this is a spot where, once again, my numbers really like San Francisco in this spot. You have to keep in mind, Harvard is a team that's having a lot of personnel issues right now. We have Noah Kirkwood, our fellow Canadian Jim, in and out of the lineup. He played last game. He didn't play the game before. We have we have Bryce Aiken. I almost called him Clay Aiken. Bryce Aiken been in and out of the lineup, and we know that he is their key offensive cog. It puts a lot of pressure on guys that aren't used to having the pressure on them, like Chris Lewis, like Baker, like Justin Bassey. And I think against the San Francisco team, they're going up against a team that really can get on the glass with Jimbo Lull, really get out to transition, and they are elite shooting. They can penetrate the bucket with James Bouyea and Charles Minlin, and Jordan Ratno is just sitting on the three-point line waiting for a drive-and kick pass, and he's going to light it up. I think at home, San Francisco is going to light it up. I think that watching California succumb to Harvard's slowing of the tempo yesterday will not hinder San Francisco today. I think San Francisco is able to win on the free throw line. I think they're able to win defensively, and I think they're able to get their tempo and score in transition enough to get this cover. I look for San Francisco to win this game handily tonight.
An easy win for San Francisco, and bookmaker still hanging a 5. Max got it at 4.5. I will tail this as well. San Fran Dons -5. San Fran Dons -5 at minus 115. Book it, bank it. All right. So those are Max's looks. He had 3 before the day started. DePaul at a pick'em, William & Mary -5.5, and the Dons -4.5. He's added Canisius +14, Hofstra money line at +100, and the under in the South Carolina game at 137.5. We have questions coming in, and oh yeah, I saw that tweet that Max put out, Nilo. It is a very, very, very interesting one about the difference in where the three-point line is, how that's affecting things. Raven in the Desert liking the under in the San Francisco Dons game. What do you think the total in that?
No opinion on the total. Didn't have an edge either way. Didn't pay much attention because of that.
NHL Parlay Bagger wondering about this bowl game coming up. We have Teddy Covers joining us in 8 minutes, so don't you worry about a thing. We've got you covered. Okay, first question coming in from Steve Priest. Yes, I got you, Guillermo. Oh, and there is our guy, Matt Randall. Okay, but first from Steve Priest, I'm going to copy and paste Matt Randall and Guillermo so we know what's going on there. George Mason getting 11.5. Steve Priest says that looks like too many points. George Mason getting 11.5 here, Max. Let me find this game on the card. Come on, show your face. There it is. George Mason, TCU. TCU opening up at -8. -8, and it's now at 11.5. Just at Pinnacle and 5 dimes, 11 everywhere else, and the total gone up a point from 129 to 130. What do you think about this big market move towards TCU, Max?
Yeah, I disagree with it 100%. I think that this George Mason team is definitely underrated and being underestimated. I think that they shoot good free throws where TCU does not. TCU is 319th in the nation at just over 60% from the free throw line. That is not going to get you double-digit covers. I don't give a shit what you think. The fact is, George Mason is healthy. They have Justin Kier back. They haven't needed him as much because there have been other guys that have stepped up in his place. I think that Jamal Hartwell II is a reincarnation of Otis Livingston Jr. And if you watch Otis Livingston Jr. or George Mason, you knew that he's a fireball. In this spot, the numbers like George Mason, I'm going to keep on hanging around because I think that number will continue to rise. And I think that even though Jair Greer, who is a former George Mason player, is playing for TCU now, I don't really think that adds to the excitement of the game. I think that it's going to be something that the other guys on George Mason are going to be like, come on, bro, you left us? Look at us. We're going to be A-10 potential. And you're playing with TCU, a bottom freaking Big 12 team? Come on. So my numbers like George Mason, I think that this number goes up to 12 or 13 by game time. So I'm holding off on making a play on it.
Okay, we have a bunch of questions coming in. We have 6 minutes. No need to panic, but we got to work quickly. Kenneth, he says, ask Max about Baylor first half and Gonzaga first half. 2 big favorites. Gonzaga going up.
Pass Baylor first half. Pass Gonzaga first half. I don't have good enough numbers or edges to take Gonzaga in the first half. I do think it's a big number. They should win the first half by 17 to 20 points. It's just not good enough for me to get on right now.
I get it. I absolutely get it. Okay, there you go, Kenneth Heath. We have our guy Matt Randall joining us. He's dealing with the flu. Hate hearing that, man. Randall laying in bed, but still must turn the show on. What a guy he is. Taint play today. George Mason plus 11. There you go. George Mason plus 11. Other plays, Texas over 125, Texas A&M under 140.5, Dartmouth over 128.5, Northern Kentucky minus 5.5, and Hofstra money line. He's also on the Hofstra money line. Awesome. So we're on the Hofstra with them, and maybe we'll be adding the Taint play of the day as well. Love it. Thank you so much for joining us, Matt Randall. Man, love it. Okay, Guillermo Zertucci says, can you ask Max about North Carolina today? And we shall, because our guy, Max Ben Sports Picks 24/7, has Yale plus 8 is play of the day. North Carolina opens at 6.5 point favorite. It's all the way up to 8 at Intertops and Pinnacle, 7.5 at some other books, 7 at Wager. This total has gone up a point from 131.5 to 132.5 or 133. Max, Yale, North Carolina.
Yeah, this is a spot that the number definitely likes Yale. If you've been betting on Yale, Yale's been rewarding you 10-2 ATS on the season. I think that Yale, with Azari Swain and Jordan Bruner and Paul Atkinson, have enough offensive capability to step up. It's going to really depend on the point guard player of Eric Monroe. With North Carolina, definitely this is a team that has not made you money. They're down about like 7-something units on the season if you've been betting on them each game. And I just don't see an edge number-wise to bring me over to North Carolina at 8. My numbers like Yale at 8. I think that the number goes up before game time. And once again, this is another game that I'm going to actually hold out and wait for hopefully a line movement in my direction. I don't think that Yale is 8 points lesser than North Carolina, and with North Carolina coming off a really nice game on the West Coast and then coming back home, I don't know what kind of motivation we're going to get from them. So I agree with Yale, just not a play yet for me.
Max, we have questions coming in, but you're probably going to want to make some additions, and I know you can make them on Twitter, but do you want to take a couple minutes and let us know what additions you want me to lock in right now?
Yeah, I would actually. First off, I'd like to take Austin P first half, Jim. This is a spot where Jordan Adams and Scary Terry Taylor have some value. We were able to catch that 4.5 with Georgia Southern against Georgia, even though Georgia was able to prevail in the end. I think at 7, minus 108, that would be a good enough number for me to take and make official for the show.
All right, let's grab that. I'm going to line shop for you, Austin P first half. Why don't you go ahead and hit me with another one?
All right, so we're going to go to this Akron UMass game. Let's make it goddamn fucking simple. Lauren Christian Jackson is a fantastic point guard. He's a little man. I like little guys. And you know what? With the guys that they have with Chanel Banks and Tyler Cheese, this is a team that plays fantastic three-point defense. They make their free throws. They hit their three-point shots. And they're just, I think that they're just getting UMass at a bad spot. And I think that the number is a good number. I think that Akron, anything below 12 points is something I like. I got my 2.5 point edge. Let's go Akron first half and full game. So 9.5 minus 104 is the best line that I can get on my books. And for the first half, the best line that I can get is 5 at minus 109.
Okay, I'm going to so you got a +7 there with Austin P at minus 108. I'm going to line shop for you with Akron first half and full game. Why don't you keep hammering away?
All right, so now we're going to go to this James Madison game. I think that obviously you have to take consideration Northeastern has dominated the shit out of James Madison, ran them all over the place. But this James Madison team, they are ready to show some backbone. They're ready to play. They're a home dog today, and I'm going to be taking them +3, minus 107. Give me JMU. They got it done in the last game at home as a small home dog. I think against Northeastern, they do have a equalization in tempo. Northeastern can run, they can shoot, they can hit free throws. James Madison's going to have to be on their offensive game, and I think that defensively, that's where the difference is. James Madison's going to be able to lock down the perimeter, isolate Jordan Rowland, force other guys to beat them, and then in the end, James Madison's going to get us that +3 ticket winner.
+3, and what was the juice there, Max?
Minus 107, excuse me.
All right, keep rolling. I'm still line shopping with you for Akron, so keep rolling. What's next?
Okay, so this is another spot that is going to be highly contested. I think that my numbers favor Delaware. Delaware's been taking care of you. They've been rewarding you. I think that they do it one more time against Charleston. Charleston's coming off a really nice game against Drexel. Grant Riller, Brevin Galloway, Zep Jesper. I think Zep Jesper is going to have problems tonight. I think Zep Jesper is going to be the downfall tonight and the reason why we're able to get this shit done. I think that with this Charleston team, you definitely have good pieces, offensive pieces, guys that can score the bucket and get you buckets. But I think down low against Delaware, when you got Justin Mutz, you got Colin Goss, you got Dylan Painter, these guys are going to be the difference tonight. We got guards against guards, but we got no forwards that I feel that are all conference quality against maybe 2 quality all conference forwards for Delaware. Delaware -2.5 or -3, whatever I can get. I think that this is a game that Delaware wants some revenge. They're like, you've been kicking our ass for years. We're good now. We're ready to go. My numbers like Delaware. My analysis likes Delaware. I like Delaware. We're betting Delaware -2, -110.
Also, I'm happy you brought Delaware up because they are the school that kicked out our very own Prince of the City. So he wanted to know what you thought of this Delaware spot. And any school that would kick you out, Prince of the City, is no friend of mine. I now despise this school. But I want Max to catch this bet -2 at -110. Max, we got to work quick. Is there anything else you want me to add on?
No, not right now for the show.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Brant Hunt in the house too. All right, then the final question that we had. So we got, is our guy Mally Mouse. So we got Prince of the City talking about Delaware. We got that in. We got everything in. The final question, and then we'll move on to our Teddy Covers, is he wants to know what you think about Eastern Washington. This is another school you've had a really nice read on. Eastern Washington, Idaho State. Eastern Washington sitting at 7.5 point favorites right now. What do you think about Eastern Washington up against Idaho State?
So I'll say this. Everybody, you should be reading box scores. But you should also be watching games because the box score doesn't always tell you what you need to know. And what I saw when I watched Weber State versus Eastern Washington was the only reason why Eastern Washington wasn't able to cover that number and Weber State backdoored it is because Jacob Davison was in foul trouble the whole game. The guy's their leading scorer, played less than fucking 20 minutes in the game. That's why they lost. So anybody that's thinking, oh, Eastern Washington's tired. Oh, Eastern Washington can't do this. Oh, they're coming off a long road trip. Da-da-da-da-da. That's bollocks. Okay? Eastern Washington didn't cover because Jacob Davison was on the floor. When you have Jacob Davison on the floor for an allotted time, we're going to get this shit done. So, yeah, Eastern Washington all day.
Eastern Washington all day, says Maxwell Smart. So do you want to add them to your card?
Yeah, give me some Eastern Washington. Let's double up on Eastern Washington. First half and full game. The numbers like it. I like it. The eye test likes it.
All right, I'm going to be giving Max Eastern Washington full game right now. I'm going to be line shopping for Max Eastern Washington first half full game. Sorry, let me move over to it right now. Okay, so Eastern Washington first half and full game. Max, anything else that you make official on Twitter, we will count towards your record. This is what Max is on. Canisius plus 14, Hofstra moneyline plus 100, South Carolina under 137.5, DePaul Pick'em, William and Mary minus 5.5, San Fran Dons minus 4.5, Austin P plus 7, Akron double up first half full game minus 5, minus 9.5, James Madison plus 3, Delaware minus 2, and Eastern Washington first half full game. Max, thank you so much for sharing your hard work and going through the dental issues that you have, still making time for us here on Betting with the Bag. Follow this man on Twitter so you can get ahead of these market moves. Max on Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. Max, I hope you are feeling better. Much love to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very much, Jim. And just want to let you guys know the play of the day is North Florida plus 20 with the over 151 at minus 110. So get on that, fade it, whatever you guys want. That's what I bet. And I looked it up. I made sure that I had a best pick for today's show.
Oh, wow. Let me grab that right now. Sorry, I was moving so quickly there. Can you give me the lines that you got?
Yep, I got North Florida plus 20 and minus 108. And I got over 151 at minus 110. Over 151
and minus 110. I'm going to have to tail the plays of the day. I'm going to tail the plays of the day. The other ones I've locked into are Hofstra, DePaul, William Mary, and the San Fran Dons. But I'm going to roll with the play of the day. And I'm also interested in Akron, Eastern Washington, but I'm going to need to spend a little bit more time on that. But great stuff, Max. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you feel better, and I hope you have a great start to 2020. Much love to you, my friend.
Thanks very much, and thanks to all the low baggers in the chat. Let's cash. Let's get that money. And, of course, guys, support your local independent pipe fixers. They need your money.
All right, there he's Maxwell Smart. We go right from Maxwell Smart to Teddy Covers coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada on Monday, December 30th. Teddy Covers, how you doing, my friend?
I'm pumped, dude. We got football starting in, half an hour? We got hoops all day. This is a great stretch this next couple of days. Clients and I had a good weekend, so I'm in a good mood on Monday morning, which is nice, Jimmy. You know, I've had enough grumpy Mondays that it's good to be in a good mood today.
I'm in a good mood too. I'm excited to be here. I'm feeling good. I'm back in Costa Rica. Let's talk. We need to talk about this bowl game badly, but we've been talking about NCAA basketball for a while. What have you got to the window with any NCAA action?
So I like the Eastern Washington play that Maxwell Smart was just talking about. I pushed with Eastern Washington the other night on Saturday at Weber State in a game that they could easily have won by double digits. They choked down the stretch, which was a little bit of concern. They still won the game, however, which gives me confidence with them forward. But I don't think they choked down the stretch tonight the way they did. They missed a bunch of them. I mean, their last 2 minutes the other night were atrocious. I think they'll play better here. The one that I like even more than that, I put plus 8.5 in my pocket. That's not available anymore. Kent State, they're down to 7 now. Even at 8, I wouldn't talk you out of it. 7, even at 7, I'm not going to talk you out of it. I think Kent State's live to win that game. They're coming to play, and Mississippi State is pretty high on my list of fade teams right now. So I took the Golden Flashes plus the points, even at 7. I wouldn't talk you out of that one. Those are the 2 that caught my eye in college hoops today.
So you got in on Eastern Washington, and what did you get the number at?
It's 7.5.
Minus 7.5. And Kent State was at plus 8.5 or 8?
I got an 8. I got a rogue 8.5 in that game.
Beautiful. Okay. And those are your 2 looks in NCAA basketball?
That's all I got.
Hey, it's enough. It's enough. I like it. So we have both Teddy and Max on Eastern Washington, and then Kent State is a Teddy Covers look. All right, let's get into this bowl action. It pops off in 23 minutes, and money coming in on Western Michigan. Let's go over the spreads and totals here. Sportsbookreview.com, best odds page in the planet. Robert Allen said Western Michigan in bowl games, it's good to bet teams who run well. And Western Kentucky doesn't run nearly as well as Western Michigan. Pass heavy they are, and the timing will be off in passes. Robert Allen says, be careful with Western Michigan going to run on them. They're really bad against the run. That's in from Robert Allen. Western Michigan opened up as 2-point dogs. Now you can get them as 3.5-point dogs at some books. This total's gone from 52.5 up to 56 at Pinnacle, 55 at some other books, a couple 55.5s. Teddy Covers. This game pops off in 22 minutes. Should we get to the window? Western Michigan, Western Kentucky.
I am on Western Michigan plus 3.5 in this ball game, and I would not talk anyone else out of making that wager right now before kickoff. Let's look at Conference USA. All right, here in bowls, we saw Florida Atlantic look really good. Florida Atlantic outclassed, or we saw Marshall get outclassed against FAU. All right, we saw the Ragin' Cajuns have a rough time against Arkansas State. The two good teams from the conference, Louisiana Tech with Jamar Smith, hey, they played great against Miami. The other good team from CUSA also had a good bowl game. That's it, though. The rest of the conference stinks. All right. Western Kentucky is young. Western Michigan, senior, all over the place. I thought 3.5 was too many. I took the points. I think Western Michigan wins this game.
Western Michigan plus 3.5 is Teddy's look in this game, popping off in 21 minutes. Do you agree with this market move towards the over?
I don't have a strong take on the total. I can picture Western Michigan winning this game because Western Kentucky's offense can't do anything, and I can picture Western Michigan winning this game if it turns out to be a little bit more of a shootout. Hilltoppers correlate with under. If you like Western Kentucky, you're definitely looking at the under in this game because they're not hanging around in shootouts. They're not winning shootouts by margin. If Western Kentucky's going to win this game and cover this number, it's going to be a relatively low-scoring affair, and it's going to be because Western Michigan's offense doesn't get the job done. I think Western Michigan's offense can get the job done, but I'm not looking to bet Western Kentucky over in any way, shape, or form. They're a good defense and a pedestrian offense, so not a total I'm getting involved with.
All right, there you have it. The First Responders Bowl. Teddy Covers on the dog at plus 3.5. And Joe Nisi says, laugh out loud. My 3.5 went to 3 after Teddy opened his mouth. Yes, there still is a 3.5 at Bookmaker and at Heritage, but 3s everywhere else. 3s everywhere.
Yeah, they won't be there in 5 minutes. If you want to bet this right now. The screen's going black as we speak. So literally, if you like Western Michigan plus a 3.5. Right now.
All right, let's move on to the Music City Bowl. Let's head down to Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm in the process of booking a trip. Nashville, Memphis, and Louisville. In the process right around the Kentucky Derby. Okay, let's do this right now. Music City Bowl, Mississippi State Bulldogs, Louisville Cardinal. The total opened up at 62. It's up to 64, and the Bulldogs open as 3-point favorites, now up to 5.5 at Bookmaker, BetOnline, and Bovada. Is there a move to make 4 p.m. Eastern Music City Bowl, Teddy?
I haven't touched the game. I'm not really that close to touching the game. If I had to play it, I would play Louisville plus, but Mississippi State got better as the season progressed. They were better in November than they were in September, maybe a lot better. Louisville did a nice job out scheming teams this year and out efforting teams this year and beating up on teams that don't play a lot of defense. I'm not convinced the Bulldogs are that team. But it's not a game like the price is right. The money's already come on Mississippi State. It's not like Louisville's laying down. It's just not a game that I've got a strong feel for. I think the number's just about right. And it was a fairly easy pass for me, not one that I put 6 hours into breaking it all down and then go, now I'm going to pass. This was like, I don't want this favorite at this price. I don't want the dog at this price. I don't have a strong take on the total. I'll leave it alone. Pretty easy for me, a fairly easy pass.
Well, let's move on to the Red Box Bowl in Santa Clara. While you are talking, lucrative Larry, because we've been dealing with a bit of static, is going to switch the batteries on my mic. So that's going to be a quick little move here. Cal, Illinois fighting Illini. California opening up at -4.5, Teddy. They're now at 7 at Pinnacle and Bookmaker. Inner tops, you wager bet 365. Money coming in on Cal fast and furious. This total opening up at 42, now up to 45.5. Is there a move to be made in the Red Box Bowl?
I have a +7 in my pocket on Illinois. And look, I mean, the Illini made me money this year. They lost the last 2 games, one of which covered the spread, and the second one that didn't. So I lost on their season finale in the game against Northwestern. But, of course, they didn't have Brandon Peters in that game. He was a late scratch, and it ended up being a pretty significant loss for Illinois. But every quote is Illini are coming to play. They're interested. They're focused. I think they're pretty good. They're a team that lived on turnover differential. The markets don't respect turnover differential. And Garbers for Cal, when he's been healthy, he's been solid. But I'm interested in the Illini plus points. Their statistical profile is not a pretty one. And this is where sometimes the stats are going to lie. And I love situations where the stats lie because then you get +7 with Illinois in a game where, my numbers are a lot closer to pick 'em. I'll just put it that way. And, of course, they have Peters healthy for this game, which matters a lot. The drop-off between Peters and his backup is significant. Illinois is never pretty. They play ugly football. And so does Cal. This is all the makings of a defensive scrum, all the makings of a competitive game for 60 minutes. I think the Illini are live. I have some +7. I have some money line in my pocket on Illinois as well. As with all dogs in the postseason, if I'm playing them plus the points, I'm putting at least a portion of that wager on them to win the game outright. And that's what I did for both the Illini and the Broncos today. And the ratios for both games, about 3/4 of my bet plus the points and about 1/4 on the money line.
Teddy, Steve Priest says, don't know why the Illinois Cal total is going up. I was liking the under. What do you think about this total up to 45.5, even 46 at Heritage?
That's just with both quarterbacks being healthy to play. There were issues with both QBs. Both QBs are healthy, and we've seen the money come on the over as a result. Not my money going on the over in this game. This game has defensive scrum written all over it. Wouldn't talk anyone out of playing under, especially you're talking about 46s. That feels a little bit high for a Cal-Illinois game where points won't come easily. However, both defenses are capable of scoring. Both teams are capable of scoring on special teams, so you could get cheap scores in this one, which is always a disaster, often a disaster for underbettors.
All right, we are not going to be here tomorrow on Tuesday and Wednesday, sadly, and then we get back on Thursday, January 2nd, and 2 shows a day back in action. But we're going to miss some giant bowl action. So let's just take quick hits on these games. Let's start with New Year's Eve, Tuesday, December 31st, Kentucky, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech opened at -3, now 2.5. This total has gone from 47 down to 45.5 at Pinnacle, 46.5 everywhere else. Kentucky, Virginia Tech, Teddy.
I just wanted to ask, did you skip the Orange Bowl tonight intentionally? Or,
sorry,
are you going to go to that one as well?
Sorry. I got a little caught up in the. Thank you for mentioning that, Teddy. That's the big one, and I went right past it. Too focused on the afternoon games. Yes, 24 ranked Virginia, 9th ranked Florida. This is a big one. Thank you, Teddy. Florida opening up at -13.5. It's up to 15 at Bovada, 14.5 everywhere else. This total opened at 54. It's now at 55, 7 p.m. Eastern, Orange Bowl in Miami. Teddy, number 9th ranked Florida, number 24th ranked Virginia. Is there a move to be made here?
So I put +15 in my pocket with Virginia. And this is one of those leap of faith games. It really is. I have no disrespect for Florida. I believe in the Gators. I believe in Mullen. It's not a game that I love and would go balls to the wall with. But the process here is real simple, okay? It's not real. I watched Virginia a lot this year. I watched them step up in class. I remember the Notre Dame game. That stands out to me, where Virginia stood toe-to-toe with Notre Dame in South Bend, ended up losing and failing to cover. There were turnovers in that game that were a huge difference maker. But they were in the game. They could hang with an elite team in South Bend. Stood out to me in that contest. Then, what we had at the end of the season with Virginia, where they play this crazy game against Virginia Tech and win and beat Virginia Tech for the first time in 15 years. And the following week, it was almost, I know it was the ACC title game. They didn't play like it. They got their win the previous week. This isn't that, all right? This is a Virginia team. Boy, you read the quotes, they're focused. They're coming to play. And they want to make amends for what they thought was a no-show against Clemson. I'm interested in Mendenhall plus 2 touchdowns. Good bowl coach, good underdog coach, and a team that I think is being disrespected in the marketplace a little bit. This isn't a game where I loaded up on the money line or anything. I took a little piece of Virginia on the money line, but this is like a 10% of my total wager, as opposed to a quarter or a third with some other games. But I think Virginia's live plus 14.5. I put them in my pocket. Plus 15, I should say. I put them in my pocket. 14. I wouldn't argue with 14.5 either. I just saw 15 and grabbed it.
And we have 3+ spots for Teddy on today's bowl action. Western Michigan plus 3.5, Illinois plus 7, Virginia plus 15. Teddy, we have so many questions for you and so much we want to talk about, and I hate that we're not going to be here tomorrow. Hate it. So let's just do some very quick hits on December 31st. Bowl action. We're going to start with Kentucky, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech opening up at 3, now 2.5. This total's gone down from 47 to 45.5 at Pinnacle. Kentucky, Virginia Tech, Teddy.
I lean Virginia Tech. I have not pulled the trigger. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger, and I don't understand why this line went from 3 to 2.5. I was surprised by the move, and I don't understand the move, and until I know why that move went. Again, that's a big move off the key number. I'm not going to pull on the Hokies, but I certainly lean in their direction. I think Virginia Tech is the better of these two teams. And again, a team that played their best football down the stretch. Lean Hokies.
Next up, Florida State, Arizona State. Arizona State opening up at -4.5. There are 4s now on the board. This total's dropped 2 points. 2.5 at Bookmaker, 2 at Pinnacle from 56 to 54. Teddy, Florida State, Arizona State.
I mean, if you grade out the personnel, you can make a case that Florida State should be favored. If you look at if you grade out the personnel, Florida State's got better players. That doesn't necessarily matter for a team that's underachieved all year. And I'm confident Arizona State's coming to play. From all indications. Does that mean that they're going to win by margin? I like the Sun Devils a little bit better in the dog role than I do in the favorites role. But while I appreciate Florida State's talent, I'm not playing the game. If I had to, I'd look at the Herm Edwards side here. I think Arizona State, as a team, was the better of these two teams this year, and the betting markets are showing us that. That being said, Florida State's A game's better than Arizona State's A game, so it's not a game I pulled the trigger on.
And we have so much bowl action over the next 48 hours. Don't forget about the Boss and the Sauce Bowl Extravaganza. Boss and the Sauce Bowl Extravaganza going on right now as we speak. Check it out. Very exciting. $300 up for grabs. Okay, next up, K-State. Kansas State up against Navy. Kansas State opening up at -2, now -2.5. You were bang on about Air Force coming to play. Will Navy also come to play? This total opened at 52. You can now get it at up to 52.5 or 53.5. Kansas State, Navy, Teddy.
Yeah, I played a little bit of over in this game. And again, you cannot bet against the service academies. You can't do it. Or you can, but I wouldn't. The track record's too good for too long. It's Navy. It literally is Navy or pass. From a side perspective, I passed it. I don't play a lot of these games over. I played this one over. I think, when you look at what Navy's been able to do in bowl games against teams that are prepped for them, they've gotten the 40s each of the last 3 bowl games. Against teams that have the extra time to prepare, against some good defense in the process. Look at what they did against Army and Air Force. Talk about the two teams that should be able to stop the Navy option, should be able to slow down Malcolm Perry. Neither one of them could do it. I don't trust K-State to shut down the Navy. No way. So I think Navy's going to get theirs. But Minnie's defense, it's a pedestrian unit. I liked what I was reading from K-State on the offensive side of the football. There's a lot of confidence there. They think they're going to move the ball. They're going to have big play opportunities. We're talking to Skylar Thompson, talking about how he wants to take his shots in this ball game. So I do like the over here more than the side. I locked in at 52. I wouldn't talk anyone out of grabbing a 52.5, over 52.5 right now.
I find that very, very interesting. I may be jumping with you on that. Let's move on to Georgia State, Wyoming. Wyoming, -7 across the board. This total's gone from 49 to 48. Pinnacle leading the way to the under, down to 47.5. Georgia State, Wyoming, Teddy.
So I think Wyoming's going to maul this team at the line of scrimmage. You know, the strength of the Cowboys is in the trenches. And if they dominate the line of scrimmage, they'll control the game, obviously. Lean under here more than any other factor. You know, Wyoming is pedestrian on offense, and that's putting it nicely. You know, they're a very weak offensive team. You know, they have no playmakers when it comes to the receiving core. They want to ground and pound and churn and burn and grind out first downs, and you know that's the Craig Bowl style, and it's worked well for Wyoming in recent seasons. So I do lean under in that ball game. I don't know that Georgia State's going to be able to do a whole lot here, and maybe they will. They're not a team that I did much with during the course of the regular season, but I don't want to lay with Wyoming. They're not a team. If they're pounding Georgia State, they're going to keep. This is one that I think for live betting, it might be a real good game. Because if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and controlling the line of scrimmage, Georgia State's not going to come back. And if Wyoming gets a lead, they're going to hold that lead. But the under is the way I lean in that one more than any other factor. Two teams I think are not going to be racing up and down the field scoring touchdowns.
We've got to be very quick here, Teddy. We don't have you for much longer. Texas against 11th ranked Utah. Utah opening up at 6.5 now. 7's across the board. This total stuck at 55. Texas, Utah. This is the final game on New Year's Eve.
I don't trust either team. I don't think Texas wants to be there. I don't think Utah wants to be there. I don't want to bet against Herman as a dog. I don't want to bet against Whittingham and Bowles. Easy pass.
Then we get to New Year's Day action, starting with Michigan, Alabama. Alabama 7, -7. Bovada's at 7.5, but these 7s are widely available. This total's gone up a point or a point and a half from 57.5. 14th ranked Michigan, 13th ranked Alabama.
Hard game. You know, Alabama's A game is Alabama could beat Clemson. Alabama could beat anybody. You know, LSU, I know they lost at home to LSU. Alabama's capable. That's all I'm saying. Harbaugh's obviously had struggles in games like this. You can make a case for the Tide. All that said, I know Michigan's coming. You know, I know Michigan's coming. I think Alabama's coming, but after playing for a national title every year, do we get their full focus and best effort? Bama's the public side here. I'm not going to get involved with the public side in early game New Year's Day. I'm not going to play the game. It's a pass for me. I don't know. It's one of these games that I can picture Michigan and Harbaugh finally getting the win that they desperately need against a top squad, and I can also picture them getting crushed. I'll pass the game.
It is a dangerous spot. 3 more games left, Teddy, in just 5 minutes to do them. In Minnesota, 18th ranked Minnesota against 12th ranked Auburn. You made money off Minnesota all year long. Auburn opening up at -8. Now we have 7s across the board, 7.5 at Bovada. The total's gone up from 51.5 to 53.5 from 54. Teddy, are you going back with the Gophers?
No, not in this matchup. I lean over in this game. I think Minnesota's going to have a chance to chuck the football around, but I also think that Auburn's defense is a notch or two better than much of what the Gophers saw this year. And when they faced a real defense at the end of the season in that Wisconsin game, it wasn't necessarily pretty. So I worry about Minnesota's ability to step up in class here. I'm not going to lay it with Auburn. Minnesota's been my team all year, and I trust them to fight if they're trailing. And I wouldn't be shocked if they pull off the upset. I really wouldn't. But the price isn't right. 10.5, I pull the trigger maybe on Minnesota, not 7.
8th ranked Wisconsin up against the Ducks. Oregon 6th ranked in the country. Total opening up 49.5 up to 51.5. And Wisconsin 3-point favorite, but you wagers brought it down to 2.5. Teddy, Wisconsin, Oregon.
I'm on the Ducks +3. You know me. I mean, we talked about Wisconsin a lot this year. Wisconsin is a good team. They're not a great team. Okay. Jack Cohen had a phenomenal game in the season finale against Minnesota. Let him do it again against. I mean, Oregon's defense is real. And if you didn't believe it before the Utah game, you better believe it after the Utah game. They blew up the line of scrimmage on every play, play after play. And Wyoming's strength is the front. You know, if Jonathan Taylor is not running free, they're going to have a hard time. I think that Oregon's the better of the two teams, and I put +3 in my pocket, and obviously I got them on the money line as well.
Oregon +3 as well with some money line. And finally, the last game on New Year's Day, we'll be able to talk about Boston College, Cincinnati, Tennessee, Indiana. We'll be able to talk about all that on Thursday here with Betting with the Bag. Baylor, Georgia. Georgia opening up at -8 all the way down to 5. 5.5, some other books. Total's gone down from 42.5 to 41. Teddy, Baylor, Georgia.
I'm probably not making a move on this game. Certainly, if you like the Baylor side, you've missed the best of the number. At this number, your choices are Georgia or pass. You know, when you've missed this, again, 8, 8.5, 7, 7.5, and now it's 5, 5.5. If you're making those bets, you're not going to win long-term betting in college football or any other sport. You can't take 3 points the worst of it. You just can't. I have no idea what to do in this game. I really don't. I don't think Baylor is anywhere near as good as Georgia, but I've seen this Georgia offense sputter and sputter and sputter and sputter and sputter again. And we know what happened to Georgia in this spot last year, and Kirby Smart's like, well, that's not happening this time again. So now it's all in everybody's head. I worry about Georgia showing. I worry about Baylor competing. Pass for me. Not a hard game.
Teddy, spectacular work. You just went through every game very quickly, and I'm sorry we don't have more time, but spectacular work. Teddy, you've got to go. We've got to go put a bow on this. Did you get to the window with anything in NBA today?
I did not, and I really didn't come that close. There was, I gave a little bit of thought to taking Brooklyn minus in Minnesota and decided against that. I gave a little bit of thought to going with Phoenix plus in Portland and didn't go there either. Suns are going to win a game one of these days. Hey, they won one the other night. I wouldn't be surprised they win another one. If I was going to play one tonight, it'd be Phoenix plus at Portland, but I'm not getting there. I didn't get there. No. I did not play any NBA tonight.
And then did anything, and we got to do this in under a minute, but did anything jump out at you when you saw the wild card matchups on Saturday and Sunday? Did anything jump out at you? Have you got to the window with anything?
I have not bet anything yet. I expect to bet multiple things this morning, though. I'm going to put some Houston in my pocket, though I'm not in a rush to do that. I'm not going to play. I probably don't put Houston in my pocket today. I'm probably going to put Tennessee. In fact, I'm going to put Tennessee in my pocket this morning. I already missed the best of it. I can still find 5s out there. Even a couple of 5.5s, and I will. When we get off the pod, that's one that I see. You make your bets while we're talking. I'm scared to do that because I don't want to. I got to focus when I put my bet in, so I don't do it when I'm on air. But I'll be on the Tennessee Titans in that game against New England, and Seattle's one I got to put in my pocket this morning as well. From a strength of schedule standpoint, there's no comparison between the two teams, and that matters a lot when it comes to first round. It's insane amount when it comes to the first round.
God, Teddy, we have so much to talk about this week, and we don't have shows Tuesday, Wednesday. So much to talk about, but we'll be back here on Thursday. Follow this man on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. Teddy, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful end to 2019 and start to 2020, and can't wait to work with you later on in the week, my friend.
Hey, Jimmy, it's been a good run. I think people made money this football season. Hopefully we're giving good info on the hoops on a daily basis. And we really appreciate all of you guys, all you low baggers and gals who are hanging out in the chat, who are following us, who are tweeting at us. It's great stuff. And we want to thank you very much. And Happy New Year, man. We'll see you in 2020.
Well said, Teddy Covers. Have a great, great, great end of 2019 and start to 2020. There he is, Teddy Covers, joining us here at Betting with the Bag. You will see him again Thursday morning, and we have so much to talk about with this wild card action. So much to talk about. I know what Nasty Nate's saying. You got to be on crack if you think the Titans are going to take the Patriots out in the playoffs. But can they cover is the question. Because 5 at Bovada, 4.5 at all the other books right now. Can they cover is the question. Alex Grouse says Bills is a lock, but also the Eagles game moves to +3. Take a big bite. I don't think it will move to +3, but +2.5, I think it could. I think it could. And, man, Lily, love having you in the chat so much. All right, so let's go over everybody's action right now. For Teddy in NCAA basketball, Eastern Washington and Kent State. In NCAA football, Western Michigan plus 3.5. That game just popped off. Illinois plus 7. Virginia plus 15. Kansas State, Navy over 52. Oregon plus 3. Raven in the desert like in the Ducks and under in that spot. And Teddy thinking about the Georgia State under Georgia State, Wyoming. So we have that there. Matt Randall, taint play of the day. George Mason plus 11. He's also on Texas over 125. Texas A&M under 140.5. Dartmouth over 128.5. North Kentucky minus 5.5. And the Hofstra money line. Hofstra money line is a move that I made as well. I'm on Hofstra money line. DePaul minus 1.5. William and Mary minus 6. San Fran minus 5. And I may, you know what? I'm going to straight just tail the plays of the day here. North Florida plus 20. And over 151. We've only taken North Florida here on the show as a big dog once, and that was it was a casher. It wasn't an easy casher. It was against Florida, and they were in the similar number plus 20, and we got them. They covered at 18. At 18. So Max, Canisius plus 14, Hofstra money line, South Carolina under 137.5, DePaul pick'em, William and Mary minus 5.5, San Fran minus 4.5, Austin P plus 7, Akron double up first half full game, James Madison plus 3, Delaware minus 2, Eastern Washington first half full game, and I still got to get Max the numbers there, got lunch up. Dan Kelly in NBA is on first half Milwaukee minus 3, minus 110, and first half Miami Heat minus 4, minus 115. I made one play in NHL, that is Senators first period at plus 190. And I made one play in NBA, and I want to make some more. There's just some injury issues that I need to figure out, but man, did I destroy that market move in the under. You know, in the under in the Hawks Magic game, I really feel like I'm seeing things clearly in the association right now, and I'm enjoying capping it immensely. So I'm very excited about us working together in 2020. We have so many great cappers on the chat as well. So many great cappers in the chat. So I'm very, very excited about 2020 in NBA. In NHL, I got to step up, man. Don't know why. I just haven't got hot all year. I'm sitting up 0.11 units. It's driving me crazy. We have no show without these incredible cappers in the chat, man. I'm just so happy to be back with you guys. Omar J. Legend, Steve Overlay, Mally Mal, Rob Stevenson, Bookie, Love for Q, Prince of the City, G-Sauce. G-Sauce now on Twitter. Extra Sauce. Follow him. I'm following him. We have Snow Moose in the house. Crash 99, Moses Saucedo, Ixschnizzle in the house. Man, thank you guys. Romy Rome saying Happy New Year. Robert Allen, Ron Fig, Lily Gunn. God, love you guys so much. Dizzy Rothstein, Mark Unkefer, Guru Sports Bets, Brooklyn Funk Project, Alex Guerrero, Robert Allen, Anna Merrick, Nasty Nate. All you guys make this show special. No show tomorrow or Wednesday. So the next time we will see each other, it'll be 2020. 2020 full of hope, promise, potential, excitement. And I can't wait to be here with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get that cash. We need that cash. Leche, hey, those bookmakers!